Picture yourself standing at a crossroads. Path A, spend $200,000 and sacrifice 2 years of your life for an MBA from a prestigious university. Path B, invest that same time and a fraction of the money into self-directed learning, mastering the same fundamental concepts while actually building a business. Josh Kaufman chose Path B. His journey transformed into the Personal MBA, a comprehensive guide proving that business mastery doesn't require formal schooling. Kaufman's story began in corporate America. He watched MBA graduates enter his company, observing something fascinating. The ones who excelled weren't necessarily the ones with the best grades or most prestigious schools. The truly successful people shared different traits. They read voraciously, learned from failures, understood human nature, and thought in systems. This revelation sparked a question. What if someone could distill all essential business knowledge into a self-study program? What are the mental models, frameworks, and principles that actually matter? The Personal MBA represents Kaufman's answer: years of research, reading hundreds of business books, interviewing successful entrepreneurs, and identifying the core concepts that appear repeatedly. These aren't abstract theories debated in ivory towers. They're battle-tested principles used by everyone from solo entrepreneurs to Fortune 500 executives. The beauty of self-education? You learn what you need when you need it. Unlike a standardized MBA curriculum, teaching everyone the same content regardless of their goals, you can customize your education. Starting an e-commerce business, dive deep into direct marketing and logistics, building a consulting practice, master sales psychology and service delivery. But here's what makes this approach truly powerful. While traditional MBA students accumulate debt and theoretical knowledge, self-directed learners can simultaneously build real businesses. Your education becomes immediately applicable. Each chapter you read, each concept you study, gets tested in the marketplace within days or weeks, not years later when you finally graduate. Let's start with a fundamental truth that sounds obvious, but gets forgotten constantly. Business exists to create value for people, not to make money, not to grow as large as possible, not to maximize shareholder value. Those are outcomes of creating value, not purposes in themselves. Every successful business, from the corner coffee shop to Apple, does 5 core things exceptionally well. First, value creation. They make something people want. This seems simple until you realize most business failures happen here. People create products they think are cool, services they believe others need, or solutions to problems that don't actually exist. Real value creation requires deep understanding of what people actually desire, not what you wish they desired. Second, marketing. Creating value in a vacuum helps nobody. If you bake the world's most delicious bread but nobody knows your bakery exists, you'll fail. Marketing is the art of attracting attention from people likely to buy. Notice, likely to buy. Shotgun marketing that reaches everyone reaches no one effectively. Third, sales. Attention doesn't equal revenue. You must convert interests into transactions. This is where many creators stumble. They think good products sell themselves. They don't. Sales is helping people make decisions that improve their lives, guiding them from, "That's interesting too, I'll buy it." Fourth, value delivery. You made promises. Now keep them. Deliver what you sold, when you promised, how you described it. Consistency here builds trust. Failures destroy it. One exceptional delivery creates a satisfied customer. Reliable delivery creates loyal advocates. Fifth, finance. Money flows through your business like blood through a body. Manage it poorly and everything dies, regardless of how great your product is. You need profit margins that sustain operations, cash reserves for unexpected challenges, and financial metrics showing whether you're healthy or heading toward crisis. Think of a restaurant. The chef creates delicious food. Value creation. The attractive storefront and enticing aromas draw people inside. Marketing. The friendly host explains the menu and takes orders. Sales. The kitchen prepares food exactly as ordered, and servers deliver it hot. Value delivery. Meanwhile, the owner ensures food costs, labor, and overhead allow for profit while maintaining cash to pay suppliers and staff finance. Remove any element, and the business fails. Amazing food with terrible service? Failure? Great service with mediocre food? Failure. Both excellent but prices below costs. Failure. The value equation. Understanding purchase decisions, here's where Kaufman introduces brilliant psychology. People don't buy based purely on price or quality. They make purchases based on a mental calculation happening subconsciously. Every potential customer asks themselves, is this worth it? The answer depends on 4 factors. 2 factors that increase. Perceived value. 1. The dream outcome. What they'll achieve or feel. 2. Perceived likelihood of achievement. Their confidence. It'll work. 2 factors that decrease perceived value. 3. Time delay. How long until they get benefits? 4. Effort and sacrifice. What they must give up or endure. Let's apply this to weight loss programs. Program A, lose 50 pounds in 1 year with just 20 minutes of daily exercise. Dream outcome. High 50 pounds likelihood. High 1 year is realistic. Time delay. Moderate 1 year effort. Low 20 minutes daily. Program B, lose 10 pounds in 2 years with 2 hours of daily intense exercise. Dream outcome. Low only 10 pounds. Likelihood. Questionable seems slow time delay. High 2 years. Effort. Extreme 2 hours daily. Program A wins decisively despite both potentially delivering results. The value equation determines perceived worth. Smart businesses optimize all 4 factors. Increase the dream outcome. Boost perceived likelihood through guarantees, testimonials, and proven methodologies. Reduce time to benefit through better processes. Minimize required effort through automation, simplicity, or done-for-you services. 12 forms of value. Your business model blueprint. Most entrepreneurs overcomplicate business models. Kaufman simplifies it brilliantly. There are 12 standard forms of value. Every business uses one or combines several. 1. Product. Physical, tangible items you can touch. Cars, phones, furniture, clothing. You create or manufacture items and sell them to customers who own them permanently. 2. Service. You provide assistance, help, or expertise. Consulting, plumbing, teaching, design work. Your knowledge, skills, or labor solves problems or creates outcomes for clients. 3. Shared resource. You create a durable asset multiple people can use. Gyms, co-working spaces, tool libraries. One investment serves many customers who pay for access without individual ownership. For subscription, ongoing benefits for recurring payments. Netflix, software as a service, meal kits, membership sites. Customers pay regularly for continuous value delivery. 5. Resale. You acquire existing assets and sell them at markup. Retail stores, car dealerships, real estate flipping. You add value through curation, convenience, or market access. 6. Lease. Temporary use of an asset for a fee. Car rentals, equipment leasing, vacation properties. Customers get benefits without purchase commitment while you retain ownership. 7. Agency. You market and sell assets you don't own, earning commissions. Real estate agents, affiliate marketers, insurance brokers. You connect buyers and sellers, adding value through expertise and network. 8. Audience aggregation. You gather attention, then resell it. Television, blogs, podcasts, social media influencers. Advertisers pay to access your audience. 9. Loan. You provide temporary use of money for a fee. Banks, peer-to-peer lending, credit cards. Time value of money creates the profit opportunity. 10. Option. Customers pay for the ability to choose later. Insurance, standby tickets, retainer agreements. They're purchasing flexibility and security. 11. Insurance protection against downside risk. All insurance products transfer risk from individuals to pools, charging premiums that exceed average payouts. 12. Capital. You purchase ownership stakes in businesses. Venture capital, angel investing, stock market. You profit from others' value creation through equity appreciation. Understanding these forms revolutionizes opportunity recognition. See a problem? Ask which form of value best solves this. Starting a business? Choose the model matching your strengths and resources. Many successful businesses combine forms. Amazon started with resale, retail, added subscriptions Prime, built audience aggregation marketplace, and offers services at WS. But they mastered each form individually before combining. Part 2. Marketing the attention. Game, here's an uncomfortable truth. Creating amazing value means absolutely nothing if nobody knows about it. The world is full of brilliant products that failed, revolutionary services nobody discovered, and life-changing ideas that died in obscurity. Not because they weren't valuable, because they didn't attract attention from the right people. Marketing is the art and science of getting attention from people likely to buy what you're selling. The counterintuitive truth: narrow beats broad beginners make the same mistake repeatedly, trying to appeal to everyone. Our product is for anyone who wants to save money. Everyone needs our service. We target all businesses. This approach guarantees mediocrity. When you speak to everyone, you connect with no one. Kaufman emphasizes, the riches are in the niches. The more specifically you define your target market, the more effectively you can reach them, and the more powerfully your message resonates. Compare these positioning statements. Generic: we sell comfortable shoes. Specific: we sell lightweight running shoes for marathon runners with pronation issues. The generic version competes with thousands of shoe companies. The specific version dominates a smaller market where customers desperately need exactly that solution. Finding your perfect customer, effective marketing requires intimate understanding of who wants what you offer. Kaufman suggests examining 3 dimensions: demographics, the statistical facts, age, education, occupation, family status. These are measurable, objective characteristics. Psychographics, the internal reality, values, interests, lifestyle, personality, attitudes. What do they care about? What motivates decisions? What do they fear? Behaviors, observable patterns, shopping habits, media consumption, decision-making processes, brand loyalties. Where do they spend time? How do they research purchases? Let's apply this. A luxury watch brand targeting wealthy people will struggle, but targeting 45 to 60-year-old male executives earning $300,000 plus annually who value craftsmanship, collect status symbols, and read Financial Times creates crystal clarity. Suddenly you know where to advertise Financial Times. What messages resonate craftsmanship and exclusivity? How to design products classic styling that signals sophistication. The 5 marketing messages that work. Psychology reveals certain messages consistently influence decisions. Kaufman identifies 5 core triggers. 1. Association: people like you choose this. We're tribal creatures seeking belonging. Showing that our peers, role models, or desired identity group uses something makes it attractive. Apple doesn't sell computers. They sell membership in the creative, innovative, think different tribe. 2. Scarcity: limited availability drives urgency. We value rare things more than abundant things. Only 10 spots remaining or offer ends Friday creates fear of missing out. Use ethically: artificial scarcity destroys trust. 3. Social proof: others successfully chose this. We look to others' behavior for decision-making shortcuts. 10,000 customers served or best-selling course reduces perceived risk. If many people bought it and were satisfied, it's probably safe. 4. Authority: experts endorse this. We defer to expertise in complex domains. Recommended by dermatologists or used by Olympic athletes, leverages authority to transfer credibility. The expert's reputation becomes your reputation. 5. Reciprocity: we gave value first. Humans feel compelled to return favors. Free samples, valuable content, Helpful advice creates psychological debt. When you help people before asking for sales, they want to reciprocate. These triggers work because they shortcut decision-making in our overwhelmed, overstimulated world. We can't carefully analyze every purchase, so our brains use heuristics, mental shortcuts based on evolutionary psychology. Permission-based marketing. The modern approach, traditional marketing, interrupts commercials during shows. Cold calls during dinner, billboards disrupting scenery. This interruption-based approach increasingly fails as people develop banner blindness and use ad blockers. Kaufman advocates permission-based marketing, attract interested people voluntarily, then build relationships. Consider email newsletters. Someone visits your website, finds your content valuable, and voluntarily provides their email address because they want more. You've earned permission to communicate. Each email you send can provide value, strengthen relationship, and occasionally make offers. Contrast this with cold calling. You interrupt a stranger's day without invitation, immediately creating resistance. Even if your product is perfect for them, the interruption creates negative association. Permission-based marketing flips the dynamic. Instead of chasing people, you attract them. Instead of convincing skeptics, you serve enthusiasts. Instead of one-time transactions, you build ongoing relationships. The mechanics create valuable content, blog posts, videos, podcasts, free tools that attracts your target market. Offer something valuable in exchange for contact information, email courses, templates, guides. Nurture relationships by consistently delivering value. Occasionally make commercial offers to people who've demonstrated interest. This approach takes longer initially, but builds compounding returns. Each piece of content attracts more people. Each subscriber increases your audience. Each satisfied customer becomes a referral source. Part 3. Sales. Helping people decide. Sales carries baggage. We picture pushy car salespeople, manipulative infomercials, sleazy tactics. This reputation hurts businesses and prevents many ethical people from selling effectively. Kaufman reframes sales beautifully. Sales is helping people make good decisions that improve their lives. If you genuinely believe your offering creates value, helping someone by becomes a service, not manipulation. You're facilitating a positive outcome they'll appreciate. The universal sales process, every sale from candy bars to corporate consulting, follows predictable stages. Understanding this process helps you guide customers smoothly from awareness to purchase. Stage 1. Attention. They become aware you exist and notice your offering. This overlaps with marketing, but specifically means capturing individual awareness. Stage 2. Interest. They want to learn more about what you offer. They're considering whether this might solve their problem or fulfill their desire. Stage 3. Desire. They want what you're offering. They believe it will improve their situation and are emotionally invested in acquiring it. Stage 4. Action. They commit to the purchase, exchanging money for your value. This is where many salespeople falter, afraid to ask directly for the sale. Think about your last car purchase. First, you noticed you needed reliable transportation attention. Then you researched models online, reading reviews and comparing features, interest. You found one that excited you: perfect color, great safety ratings, exactly right price, desire. Finally, you visited the dealership, test drove it, and signed the papers. Action. Great salespeople recognize which stage prospects occupy and provide exactly what's needed to progress to the next stage. Attention stage? Share basic information about what you offer. Interest stage? Provide detailed specifications, case studies, demonstrations. Desire stage? Help them envision ownership and benefits. Action stage? Make purchasing simple and clear. The art of addressing objections. People don't buy for 2 reasons. They don't understand the value. They perceive too much risk. Objections aren't rejections. They're requests for more information. An objection means the prospect is engaged enough to voice concerns. That's opportunity. Kaufman's 4-step objection framework. Step 1. Listen completely. Let them finish without interrupting. Jumping in prematurely often addresses the wrong concern. People sometimes need to talk through objections to clarify their own thinking. Step 2. Clarify the real concern. Ask questions to understand the underlying issue. Surface objections often mask deeper concerns. "That's expensive" might mean "I don't see enough value," "I can't afford it now," or "your competitor is cheaper." Step 3. Address the core issue. Now respond to the actual concern, not what you assumed they meant. If it's value, highlight benefits. If it's affordability, discuss payment plans. If it's competition, differentiate your offering. Step 4. Confirm resolution. Ask if you've addressed their concerns satisfactorily. Does that answer your question about pricing? This ensures mutual understanding and prevents unspoken doubts from blocking the sale. Pricing, psychology, framing matters enormously. How you present prices dramatically impacts perception. Consider these framings for identical $1,200 annual software. Framing A. This software costs $1,200 per year. Framing B. For just $100 monthly, less than your daily coffee. Have it you get complete access. Framing C. Most businesses spend $5,000 annually on this problem. Our solution costs $1,200. Same price, 3 different perceptions. Framing B breaks it into manageable chunks and provides context. Framing C anchors against higher alternatives and positions as savings. Other pricing psychology principles. Anchoring. First number heard influences all subsequent judgments. Start with premium options to make standard offerings seem reasonable. Decoy pricing. 3 options where middle choice looks best. Small, $10. Medium, $15. Large, $16. Most choose large because it's barely more than medium. Price ending in $9.29 feels significantly less than $30 despite $1 difference. This charm pricing consistently increases sales. Bundling combined products for single price. Individual items total $500. Bundle costs $350. Perceived value increases while resistance decreases. The key: help prospects feel good about spending money by framing it properly. They're not losing $1,200, they're investing in solving a $5,000 problem, or gaining capabilities worth multiples more. Part 4. Value delivery. Keeping promise of created value, attracted attention, made the sale. Now comes the moment of truth, actually delivering what you promised. This is where customer relationships succeed or fail. Everything prior to delivery is promise. Delivery is proof. The expectation management principle, customer satisfaction, isn't about perfection. It's about exceeding expectations. This reveals something counterintuitive. You can create dissatisfaction by promising too much, even when delivering excellent service. Consider 2 restaurants. Restaurant A tells customers, "Your food will be ready in 10 minutes. It arrives in 8 minutes. Customers feel delighted by faster service. Restaurant B tells customers, "Your food will be ready in 5 minutes. It arrives in 8 minutes. Customers feel disappointed despite receiving food faster than Restaurant A customers. Same 8-minute delivery. Different expectations. Opposite emotional responses. The lesson: set realistic expectations, then over-deliver slightly. Don't overpromise hoping to impress. You're creating a standard you'll fail to meet. Kaufman emphasizes building buffer into estimates. If something typically takes 5 days, promise 7 and deliver in 6. You'll consistently exceed expectations, building reputation for reliability. Building reliable systems. McDonald's doesn't make better hamburgers than local diners, but they deliver virtually identical experiences worldwide. Order a Big Mac in Tokyo, Toronto, or Texas. You know exactly what you're getting. This consistency comes from systematization, creating predictable, repeatable processes anyone can execute. Kaufman's systematization principles. Document procedures. Write step-by-step processes for every recurring task. This removes reliance on individual memory and enables others to deliver consistent quality. Build redundancies. Plan for failures. What happens when your primary supplier delays shipment? When your key employee is sick? When equipment breaks? Redundant systems prevent single points of failure. Test before scaling. Prove your system works small before expanding. One successful location validates the system. Rolling out 50 locations based on untested assumptions risks catastrophic failure. Gather feedback continuously. Ask customers where experiences fall short. Monitor metrics showing delivery performance. Fix problems quickly rather than letting them compound. Think of an Amazon warehouse. Every item has barcode. Every shelf has coordinates. Every worker follows documented procedures. Machines optimize routing. Redundant quality checks catch errors. The result? Millions of packages delivered accurately and quickly. You're not building Amazon, but the same principles apply at any scale. A solo consultant benefits from checklists ensuring consistent client onboarding. A small restaurant needs recipes, guaranteeing consistent taste. The value stream analysis maps your entire delivery process from purchase to finished benefit. This reveals where delays occur. Can you accelerate any steps? Where quality issues arise? Which processes need refinement? Where customers get confused? What communication is missing? Where unnecessary steps exist, what can you eliminate? Example: a consulting firm discovers clients wait 3 days for project kickoff because scheduling requires 7 back-and-forth emails between parties. Solution: automated scheduling tool where clients pick times from available slots. Delay reduced to same-day kickoff, improving experience dramatically. Value stream mapping often reveals low-hanging fruit, simple changes creating meaningful improvements. Part 5. Finance. Understanding the numbers money matters. You can create exceptional value, market brilliantly, sell effectively, deliver perfectly. But if finances don't work, your business dies. Kaufman cuts through accounting complexity to focus on what actually matters for business success. Profit margin. The critical metric revenue impresses people at parties. Profit margin determines whether your business survives. The math is simple. Revenue total sales costs everything spent equals profit. Profit divided by revenue equals profit margin percentage considered to businesses. Business, a revenue, $100,000 costs $98,000. Profit $2,000. Profit margin 2%. Business B. Revenue Lam 1 costs. Wu 10 profit. $15,000 profit margin, 75%. Business A. Sounds more impressive. But Business B keeps $15,000 versus $2,000. Business B has cushion for mistakes, investment capacity, and sustainability. Business A teeters on the edge of failure when unexpected expense creates crises. High profit margins provide buffer against revenue fluctuations, resources for growth investment, ability to weather downturns, attractiveness to investors or buyers. Low margins require extreme precision and volume. You're constantly vulnerable to cost increases or demand decreases. Fixed versus variable costs. Understanding your economics, fixed costs remain constant regardless of sales volume, rent, salaries, insurance, software subscriptions. Whether you sell 10 units or 10,000, these costs stay the same. Variable costs change with production volume. Raw materials, shipping, sales commissions, transaction fees. More sales equal higher variable costs. Understanding this distinction enables powerful analysis break-even calculation. How many sales needed to cover fixed costs? If fixed costs are $10,000 monthly and profit per unit is $20, you need 500 sales to break even. Scaling decisions. High fixed costs create economies of scale. Spreading fixed costs across more units reduces per unit cost. High variable costs limit scaling benefits. Pricing strategy. Fixed cost-heavy businesses benefit from volume. Variable cost-heavy businesses benefit from premium pricing. Software exemplifies fixed costs. Development costs, millions. But serving customer 1 versus customer 1 million costs nearly the same. This enables massive profit margin growth with scale. Physical products exemplify variable costs. Each unit requires materials and labor. Scaling increases total profit, but margin stays relatively constant, cash flow. The business lifeline, Profitable businesses fail from cash flow problems. This seems paradoxical, but happens constantly. Imagine you invoice client for $100,000 project, due in 90 days. You've made the sale on paper, you're profitable. But payroll is due Friday, and your account has $5,000. The $100,000 profit arriving in 3 months doesn't help with this week's expenses. This is the cash flow crisis, timing mismatch between money coming in and going out. Kaufman emphasizes cash flow metrics: cash on hand, actual money in accounts. Right now, cash runway, how many months can you operate with current cash? Cash conversion cycle time from spending money paying suppliers, employees to collecting money, customer payment, healthy cash flow management. Maintain reserves 3 to 6 months, operating expenses and savings, get paid quickly, invoice immediately. Offer early payment discounts. Require deposits, negotiate favorable terms. Pay suppliers in 60 days while collecting from customers in 30 days. Understand your cycle model cash flows to predict crunches before they happen. Many entrepreneurs obsess over profit while ignoring cash. Then they're blindsided when successful growth creates cash crisis. More sales require more inventory or labor before payment arrives. Financial ratios, dashboard indicators rather than drowning in complex accounting. Kaufman focuses on ratios providing instant health insights. Sufficiency ratio, can you cover basic expenses? Current cash divided monthly operating expenses equals months of runway. Efficiency ratio, how quickly do you convert investments to cash? Cash conversion cycle measures this directly. Leverage ratio, how much borrowed money are you using? Total debt divided total equity shows dependency on borrowing. Profitability ratio, what percentage of revenue becomes profit? Net profit divided revenue shows overall efficiency. These ratios work like a car dashboard. You don't need to understand engine mechanics. You need to know if you're about to run out of gas efficiency, if the engine's overheating efficiency, and how fast you're going profitability. Check these monthly. Spot problems early when they're fixable rather than late when they're catastrophic. Part 6. The human mind, understanding decision psychology. Business is fundamentally about people understanding what they want, why they decide, how they behave. Kaufman dedicates substantial attention to psychological principles driving human behavior. Loss aversion. Fear outweighs hope. Humans fear losses approximately twice as much as we value equivalent gains. Losing $100 feels worse than gaining $100 feels good. This asymmetry profoundly impacts business marketing messages. Don't miss this opportunity. Loss framing often outperforms take advantage of this deal. Gain framing, people act more urgently to avoid loss. Pricing psychology, save $50 feels more compelling than $50 discount. Despite meaning the same thing, the first emphasizes what you'd lose by not buying. Product positioning, antivirus software sells better, emphasizing what you'll lose to viruses. Data, privacy, money, rather than what you'll gain. Peace of mind. Guarantees, money-back guarantees work by removing loss fear. Try risk-free means you won't lose anything if disappointed. Smart. Businesses leverage loss aversion ethically, help people avoid genuine losses rather than manufacturing artificial fears. Cognitive scope limitation. The working memory constraint. Our brains can only hold approximately 4 to 7 items in working memory simultaneously. Try remembering this number: 7,389,251,640. Difficult, right? Now try 738,925,1640. Easier, we've chunked it into manageable pieces. Business implications: menu design. Restaurants with 100 items overwhelm customers. 7 to 10 items per category works better. Too many choices creates decision paralysis. Product lines. Apple succeeds partly through simplicity. Few clear product choices versus hundreds of confusing options. Presentations structure around 3 to 5 main points. 7 bullet points per slide maximum. More information doesn't increase persuasion, it increases confusion. Purchase process: each form field, decision point, or step reduces conversion. Simplify ruthlessly. Amazon's one-click buying removes all friction between desire and purchase. Each additional step would lose customers. The pattern, whenever asking people to think, remember, or decide, minimize cognitive load. Simplicity isn't simplistic. It's respecting how human minds actually work. Pattern matching. How we make sense of everything humans are. Pattern recognition machines. We see faces in clouds, meaning in coincidences, trends in randomness. This helped ancestors survive that rustling might be a predator, but creates interesting business dynamics. Consistency builds trust when your business delivers consistently. Customers notice the pattern. They develop confidence in future reliability. One deviation breaks the pattern and disproportionately damages trust. Branding works through pattern recognition. Consistent colors, logos, messaging create instant recognition. Your brain processes patterns faster than conscious thought. You recognize McDonald's golden arches before consciously reading the sign? Expectations from categories. People expect certain patterns from business types. Luxury brands should have premium packaging, high prices, and refined aesthetics. Discount brands should emphasize value and affordability. Violating category patterns creates confusion. Example, a luxury hotel with cheap plastic cups and bathrooms creates pattern violation. The cup costs $2, but the inconsistency damages perception worth thousands. Align everything: pricing, design, service level, communication style into coherent patterns, matching customer expectations for your category. Mental simulation, imagining before buying, before purchasing. Customers mentally simulate ownership. Will this car make me feel successful? Will this software solve my workflow problems? Will this course help me get promoted? They're running mental movies imagining futures with your product. If the simulation produces positive emotions and outcomes, they buy. If not, they walk away. Smart businesses facilitate vivid, positive mental simulation test drives. Actually experience the product, temporarily free trials, use software before committing. Detailed case studies, see yourself in the success story. Visualization exercises, imagine waking up 30 pounds lighter. Quality images show product in aspirational contexts. The more clearly customers can imagine positive outcomes, the stronger desire becomes. Conversely, anything creating difficult or negative mental simulation kills sales. Complex setup processes, confusing features, or ambiguous benefits make positive simulation impossible. Help customers vividly imagine themselves succeeding with your offering, and sales become natural. The 5 core human drives. Kaufman identifies 5 fundamental motivations driving human behavior. 1. The drive to acquire. We want resources, status, and competitive advantage. This drives luxury purchases, collecting behaviors, and status signaling. 2. The drive to bond. We crave connection, belonging, and relationship. This drives social networks, community products, and shared experiences. 3. The drive to learn. We seek understanding, mastery, and growth. This drives education products, how-to content, and skill development offerings. For the drive to defend, we protect what we value: possessions, beliefs, relationships, identity. This drives insurance, security products, and ideological purchases. 5. The drive to feel. We pursue specific emotional states: excitement, peace, pride, joy. This drives entertainment, luxury goods, and experience products. Successful products tap one or multiple drives simultaneously. Apple products satisfy acquire, premium pricing signals, status bond, community of Mac users. Ecosystem lock and learn, intuitive interfaces that reward exploration. Feel beautiful design creates aesthetic pleasure when creating offers. Ask, which drives does this satisfy? The more drives engaged, the more compelling the offering. Part 7. Working with yourself. Personal effectiveness. Business success requires personal effectiveness. You can understand every concept perfectly, but fail if you can't execute consistently. Mental models. Your cognitive toolkit. Mental models are frameworks for understanding how things work. The more accurate mental models you possess across diverse fields, the better decisions you make. Kaufman argues that business success comes not from deep expertise in one narrow domain, but from broad understanding across multiple disciplines: business, psychology, physics, biology, mathematics, philosophy, history. Why? Problems rarely fit neatly into single domains. Understanding human psychology helps with marketing. Understanding physics helps with logistics. Understanding biology helps with organizational design. This lattice work of mental models helps you recognize patterns others miss. Draw analogies between fields. Avoid errors through multiple perspectives. Create novel solutions combining insights. Imagine viewing a business problem through multiple lenses. Psychology lens. What motivates customers? Systems lens. What feedback loops exist? Economics lens. What incentives drive behavior? Mathematics lens. What do the numbers reveal? Each lens reveals different insights. Combined, they create comprehensive understanding impossible from single discipline thinking. Build your mental model collection through reading widely, studying multiple fields, and consciously extracting principles from everything you learn. Acrasia. The intention-action gap. We often don't do what we know we should. We understand healthy eating, but order pizza. We know exercise matters, but skip the gym. We plan to start the business, but procrastinate indefinitely. This gap between intention and action is called acrasiousness of will. Kaufman's solutions focus on environmental design rather than willpower. Reduce friction for desired behaviors. Prepare gym clothes the night before. Put healthy snacks at eye level. Make the first step of important tasks ridiculously easy. Increase friction for undesired behaviors. Delete social media apps from phone. Put junk food in hard-to-reach places. Add steps between impulse and action. Create external commitments, public declarations, accountability partners, or financial stakes. Make follow-through easier. Telling friends you'll run a marathon increases likelihood of training. Design your environment, your surroundings. Shape behavior more than willpower. Want to write daily? Create a dedicated writing space with zero distractions. The pattern: stop relying on motivation and willpower. Instead, design systems, making desired behaviors the path of least resistance. Monodialism. The power of single-focus multitasking is myth. Our brains can't actually focus on multiple complex tasks simultaneously. We switch between tasks rapidly, but each switch carries cognitive cost, setup time, context loading, and error risk. Kaufman advocates monodialism, complete focus on one important task until completion or natural stopping point. This deep work approach produces dramatically better results. Higher quality output, faster completion time, greater satisfaction, less stress, and cognitive fatigue. Compared to work sessions, fragmented approach. Work on report for 15 minutes. Check email. Work 10 more minutes. Respond to Slack. Work 20 minutes. Browse social media. Work 15 minutes. Take call. Monodialism approach. Work on report for 90 uninterrupted minutes. Then break. Then handle email. Slack batch. Same total time. Vastly different results. The monodialism session produces higher quality work because deep thinking requires sustained concentration. Complex problems need time to load into working memory and develop momentum. Protect time for deep work. Block calendar for focus sessions. Disable notifications. Completely communicate boundaries to colleagues. Choose challenging. Important tasks worthy of deep focus. Reserve shallow work email. Administrative tasks. Meetings for designated times. This isn't about working more hours. It's about making hours count. The five-fold why. Root cause analysis when problems occur. Surface solutions rarely work because they address symptoms, not causes. The five-fold why technique uncovers root causes by asking why repeatedly. Problem: sales decreased 20% this month. Why? Website traffic dropped. Why? Google search ranking fell. Why? Competitor published more content. Why? We stopped our content marketing program. Why? Our content writer quit and wasn't replaced. Surface problem. Lower sales root cause. Unstaffed content position. Fixing the root cause. Hire replacement writer. Prevents recurrence. Addressing symptoms. Run more ads to compensate. Treats effect without fixing cause. 5 iterations usually reach root causes, though sometimes you need fewer or more. The key is persistence. Don't stop at convenient first answers. Part 8. Working with others. Leadership and management business rarely happens alone. Success requires working effectively with others, employees, partners, customers, suppliers. Power. The ability to get things done. Kaufman defines power neutrally. The ability to achieve outcomes through others. It's neither inherently good nor bad, simply a tool that can be used ethically or unethically. Sources of power include position power, formal authority from your role manager, director, CEO expertise power, specialized knowledge or skills others lack, resource power, control over desired assets, budget, equipment, information, relationship, power, network, and connections. Providing access. Effective leaders develop multiple power sources. Relying solely on position power because I'm the boss creates compliance, not commitment. Combining position with expertise, resources, and relationships creates genuine influence. Communication, the foundation of everything. Most business problems trace to communication failures. Someone misunderstood. Instructions were ambiguous. Expectations differed. Context was missing. Kaufman's communication guidelines. Be clear. Avoid jargon, acronyms, and assumptions. Say exactly what you mean. Be concise. Respect others' time and attention. Cut unnecessary words ruthlessly. Confirm understanding. Ask recipients to restate key points in their own words. This reveals misunderstandings immediately. Choose appropriate medium. Complex, nuanced topics need conversation, not email. Simple updates work fine in writing. Example of poor communication: handle the Johnson situation ASAP. What's the situation? What outcome is desired? What resources are available? What's ASAP? Hours, days, weeks? This guarantees confusion and poor results. Improved communication. Johnson complained about late deliveries. Call him today. Apologize. Find out which orders were delayed. And email me the details by 5 p.m. so we can discuss solutions tomorrow morning. Same amount of words. Vastly more clarity. Commander's intent. Alignment through purpose. Military. Doctrine includes commander's intent, the overall purpose, and desired end state of an operation. Even if circumstances change, plans fail, or communication breaks down, everyone understands the ultimate goal and can adapt appropriately. Business application. When assigning projects, explain not just what to do, but why you're doing it and what success looks like. We're launching this feature to reduce customer support tickets by 40%, so our team can focus on complex issues rather than repetitive questions. Now, if the planned feature proves technically impossible, the team understands the goal: reduce support volume, and can propose alternatives: better documentation, chatbot, video tutorials. Without commander's intent, teams execute tasks mechanically without understanding purpose. With it, they become problem solvers, contributing to strategy. The Pygmalion effect. Expectations shape performance. People tend to perform at the level of expectations placed upon them. Expect excellence, while providing support. People often rise to meet it. Expect mediocrity. You'll get it. This Pygmalion effect works through self-fulfilling prophecy, high expectations, increase effort and confidence. Increased attention. We invest more in people we believe in. Positive feedback loops. Small improvements get recognized. Encouraging more. Great leaders communicate high expectations while providing resources for success. They challenge people beyond comfort zones while ensuring necessary support exists. Poor leaders either have low expectations capping performance or high expectations, without support creating stress and failure. The balance. I believe you can achieve this challenging goal. And here's how I'll help you succeed. Part 9. Understanding systems. How everything works. The world operates through interconnected systems. Understanding systems thinking helps you see beyond immediate effects to underlying dynamics. Gall's law. Start simple, then evolve. One of Kaufman's most powerful principles. A complex system that works is invariably found to have evolved from a simple system that worked. A complex system designed from scratch never works and cannot be patched up to make it work. You have to start over with a working simple system. Translation: don't design elaborate systems up front. Start with the simplest version that could possibly work. Test it. Refine it. Add complexity gradually, only as genuinely needed. Failed businesses often violate this. Elaborate business plans, complex product launches, sophisticated systems before proving basic viability. Successful businesses follow Gall's law. Amazon started selling only books from a garage. Facebook began as simple directory for one college. Apple started with one computer model after proving the simple version worked. They added complexity gradually based on learnings. Your application. Whatever you're building, identify the absolute minimum viable version. Launch that. Learn from reality. Evolve based on feedback. Feedback loops. Circular causality. Linear thinking says, a cause is B. Systems thinking recognizes, a cause is B, which affects C, which influences A, creating ongoing cycles. Two types of feedback loops. Reinforcing loops. Positive feedback amplify change. Success breeds success. A popular restaurant attracts more customers, generates more revenue, funds improvements, attracts even more customers. Momentum builds, but reinforcing loops also work negatively. Poor service drives customers away, reducing revenue, forcing cost cuts, degrading service further, losing more customers. Balancing loops. Negative feedback resists change, maintaining stability. Body temperature rises, you sweat, temperature decreases. Thermostat detects cold, triggers heat. Temperature rises, heat turns off. Business application. Leverage positive loops, find virtuous cycles, and accelerate them. Happy customers leave reviews, attracting more customers, creating more happy customers. Interrupt negative loops, break vicious cycles. Poor product causes complaints, overwhelming support, delaying fixes, worsening product. Solution: temporarily stop new sales to fix product, even though it hurts revenue short term. Create balancing loops, build self-regulating mechanisms. Inventory to low triggers automatic reordering. Burnout too high triggers mandatory vacation. Understanding feedback loops helps you see where small interventions create large effects by shifting system dynamics. Constraints and bottlenecks. Every system has a limiting factor, the constraint determining maximum performance. Improving non-constraints doesn't increase output. A restaurant seats 100 people, but the kitchen only handles 40 meals hourly. Adding more tables doesn't increase revenue, the kitchen is the constraint. Solutions: 1. Expand kitchen capacity, remove constraint. 2. Improve kitchen efficiency, maximize constraint. 3. Accept the limit and optimize around it after removing the kitchen constraint. Seating might become the new bottleneck, or ingredient supply, or parking availability. The theory of constraints. 1. Identify the constraint. 2. Exploit it, maximize output from current capacity. 3. Subordinate everything to it, align all processes around constraint. 4. Elevate it, increase constraint capacity. 5. Repeat, find new constraint. This focus prevents wasting effort optimizing non-bottlenecks. Part 10. Making better decisions. Analytical tools. Kaufman provides frameworks for improving decision quality. Margin of safety. Build buffers, never operate at maximum capacity. Unexpected events happen, build cushion to absorb shocks. A business barely covering monthly expenses has zero margin of safety. One slow month means crisis. Building 3 to 6 months operating reserves creates breathing room. This principle applies everywhere: finance, cash reserves for emergencies. Time. Schedule slack for unexpected delays. Capacity. Operate at 80% maximum to handle surges. Inventory. Extra stock for supply disruptions. Margin of safety. Cost something. Unused capacity. Stored cash. Excess inventory, but prevents catastrophic failures. It's insurance against uncertainty. Scientific method in business. Treat business decisions as experiments rather than battles to be won. 1. Observe what's currently happening. 2. Hypothesize what might improve results. 3. Predict what specific outcomes do you expect. 4. Test. Make the change and measure results. 5. Analyze, did predictions match reality? 6. Conclude, what did you learn? This mindset shift transforms failures into data. Experiments can't fail, they produce results, whether expected or surprising. Example, I believe homepage redesign will increase conversions 20%. Test it. If conversions increase 25%, hypothesis validated. If they decrease 10%, hypothesis disproven, but you learned something valuable. Rather than debating endlessly about what might work, test quickly and let data guide decisions. Counterfactual simulation, exploring alternatives before major decisions. Mentally simulate different scenarios. What if we launch and it succeeds spectacularly? What if we launch and it fails completely? What if we don't launch and competitors do? What if we're wrong about market demand? This pre-mortem analysis identifies risks and prepares contingencies before committing. For each scenario, ask, how likely is this? What would cause it? How would we respond? Can we prevent or prepare? Exploring multiple futures reduces overconfidence and reveals blind spots. The 80-20th principle, Pareto principle in many systems. Roughly 80% of effects come from 20% of causes. 80% of revenue from 20% of customers. 80% of complaints from 20% of products. 80% of results from 20% of efforts. 80% of problems from 20% of causes. This isn't exact, sometimes it's 70/30ths or 90/10ths. But the pattern holds. Outcomes distribute unevenly. Business implications. Identify your vital 20%. Which customers, products, activities, or strategies drive most results? Double down. Invest disproportionately in high-leverage areas. Eliminate or minimize the trivial 80% activities consuming time without producing results. Example. Analyzing customer profitability reveals 15% of customers generate at 85% of profit, while 30% are actually unprofitable once you account for support costs. Action. Focus on serving and acquiring more customers, like your top 15%. Consider raising prices or service levels for unprofitable segments. The 80-20th principle is permission to be selective. You can't optimize everything. Focus ruthlessly on what matters most. Conclusion? Your education begins now. Josh Kaufman's Personal MBA delivers a revolutionary message. Business mastery is accessible to anyone willing to learn. You don't need $200,000 in 2 years at a prestigious university. You don't need permission from gatekeepers or validation from institutions. You need understanding of fundamental principles and willingness to apply them. The concepts in this book value: creation, marketing, sales, delivery, finance, psychology, systems thinking are timeless. They worked 50 years ago. They work today. They'll work 50 years from now because they're based on human nature and mathematical reality, not temporary trends. But here's what makes self-education truly powerful. You can start immediately applying what you learn. Traditional MBA students spend 2 years studying, accumulating debt and theoretical knowledge. They graduate and then start applying concepts to real situations. Self-directed learners reverse this. Study a concept in the morning, test it in the afternoon. Learn about the value equation, immediately examine your offerings through that lens. Discover pricing psychology, immediately revise how you present prices. This tight feedback loop accelerates learning exponentially. Theory meets reality within hours, not years. Failures teach lessons you remember. Successes reinforce principles. Your personal MBA is a lifelong journey, not a destination. Every customer interaction becomes a psychology lesson. Every financial decision becomes a case study. Every operational challenge becomes a systems thinking exercise. The most successful business people aren't those with the most prestigious degrees. They're people who understand fundamental principles deeply, apply them consistently, learn continuously from results, adapt based on feedback. Build mental models across disciplines. You now possess the framework. You understand the 5 functions every business performs. You know the 12 forms of value. You've learned psychological principles driving decisions. You understand systems thinking and financial fundamentals. Now comes the only part that matters: application. Start something. Create value for someone. Test marketing messages. Practice sales conversations. Deliver results. Manage money carefully. Study what works and what doesn't. Each experience adds to your education. Each failure teaches lessons no classroom could provide. Each success validates principles and builds confidence. The world doesn't need more people with business degrees. It needs more people creating value, solving problems, and improving lives through commerce. That's what business really is: organized effort to make things better for people. You're now equipped with the mental models to do it well. Your personal MBA starts today. What will you create?